Hello my happy readers, it's Bedtime Stories with Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? Well, I have chosen a rather galactic story to share. The title is Earmuffs to the Moon. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, is Issy, and the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is Sarah-Leigh. Now we're going to meet Sara, an autistic girl who has dreams of shooting into space. Shall we read and find out what happens? Earmuffs to the Moon. There was once a girl of 5 who dreamt of what she could be. Her perspective was truly unique. She saw things quite differently. Now Sara, this curious little girl, was very special indeed. She had secret superpowers which she would always use to break free. She dreamt to be an astronaut. She needed to go and see the stars, to fly past the storms of Jupiter and stop for a picnic on Mars. The trouble was, she didn't like rockets. They were much too loud for her ears. But her super magical earmuffs made all of the noise disappear. She was determined to reach her destination despite the internal struggle. She always tried to be positive. In her head, she had a lot to juggle. As she zoomed up through the bright sky, she marveled at the pretty sights. The vibrant shades of lilac and blue brought her little heart such delight. Sara wished her friends back home could see the universe as did she. For Sara saw explosions of colour because in her world detail was key. Some nights the sky was shades of pink. Other times she would see hints of blue. And on special nights when she looked extra hard, she saw purple, red and orange too. This was one of Sara's superpowers, to give everything the attention it's due, to appreciate the smallest of detail, for she had a special point of view. Then she found herself surrounded by an ocean of velvet black, sprinkled with glistening stars. The beauty really took her back. Finally, the moment she'd waited for, to experience this cosmic treat, floating peacefully amongst the stars, the perfect intergalactic retreat. After hours of searching with intrigue, her eyes caught a magical sight. In the distance, she saw the moon, so beautiful, so bright. As she drew closer and closer, her emotions were too much to bear. The moon beamed her brightest smile, as if she was fully aware. They laughed and exchanged stories. Sara didn't want the visit to end. The moon held out her hand and whispered, "Let's go visit my friends." Sara swirled in Jupiter's winds, legs dangling gracefully above the clouds, the wind whispering sweet melodies like in a gentle merry-go-round. Up next was a visit to Saturn. Saturn knew Sara didn't like to go fast, so she tilted her rings a little less so that Sara could softly slide past. Venus greeted her with a warm hug. She knew Sara liked to be embraced tight. Sara was dazzled by her beauty, for Venus was so glittery and bright. Now they had to make their way back, so onwards they went, rocket bound. Sara scribbled some notes in her notebook about her time in the celestial fairground. She drew pictures of the planets with small details in the right place. Using her super memory and imagination, she captured a beautiful picture of space. Soon it was time for farewells. Sara kissed the moon good night, retreated back into her rocket, and prepared again for her flight. Her eyes sparkled with tears like twinkling stars in the night sky. She reached once again for the earmuffs and wiped a tear from each eye. But wait, there was something in her pocket. She couldn't believe her eyes. The moon had gifted her some moon rock. Oh, what a wonderful, shiny surprise! With a renewed sense of adventure, she buckled up nice and tight and couldn't wait to tell her friends what she had been up to that night. Oh, what a fabulous galactic adventure that was for Sara! Aren't her earmuffs just amazing? They help to block out all the noise that she doesn't like. I liked the way she saw such beautiful detail in all the colours. How wonderful is that? And I really liked the way all the planets understood her needs and were so kind to her. Now, we have some extra information about the planets. Are you ready? Space is ace. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The sunset on Mars appears blue. The hottest planet in our solar system is 450 degrees Celsius. Now that is hot. There may be a planet made from diamonds. The footprints of the moon will be there for 100 million years. Space is completely silent. Shh. There is a volcano on Mars, 3 times the size of Mount Everest. Jupiter's great red spot is a gigantic storm that is about twice as wide as Earth. The English day, Saturday, originates from the Roman god Saturn. 30 Earths would fit back to back in the distance between the Earth and the moon. Oh wow, what amazing facts were those! I most certainly did not know all of them, did you? In the back of this book as well, you can practice your planets in order. Are you ready? 1. The Sun. 2. Mercury. 3. Venus. 4. Earth. 5. Mars. 6. Jupiter. 7. Saturn. 8. Uranus. 9. Neptune. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story. And if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you will be ready for the next book for us to share together. Bye-bye.